What happens to your trust when you pass away? My name is Amanda Rocha. I am an estate planning and probate attorney in California, and today I'm going to tell you about a couple of different scenarios in which will happen when you pass away and you have a trust. Before I get into that, I want to give you my contact information. You can find me on my website, www.amandarochala.com. You can comment down below if this platform allows you to do that, or follow along on my social media. I'm at Amanda Rocha Law. So you have a trust, or you're thinking of getting a trust, and you want to know what will happen to your trust when you pass away. Well, that answer is going to depend on the kind of trust you have and basically what the trust says to do. So the most typical scenario would be a revocable living trust, which is the kind of trust that you create and you control during your lifetime. You can add property to it, remove property from it, make any changes basically. In a trust like that, if you are the only person who created the trust, the only grantor, then when you pass away, your revocable living trust becomes irrevocable, and the successor trustee, or the person who you've named to step in as trustee when you've passed away, will be able to follow the directions in the trust to either keep certain accounts and items available for people for a period of time, whether that's for minor children until they reach a certain age, or for a dependent throughout their lifetime, or it could even be specific gifts for a group of people when they reach certain milestones. Or if there aren't any reasons to keep the trust alive for longer than your lifetime, so there's no accounts that need to stay open, then everything will be distributed to your beneficiaries in the way that you say. So it could be also a combination of those things, where you've got some specific gifts that are given outright as soon as you've passed away, and some of them stay in either a bank account, or property is being held for someone for a specific reason for a period of time. They can do both. Now, if you have a joint revocable living trust with your spouse and the first spouse passes away, then the trust itself will dictate what happens with the surviving spouse and what they're allowed to do with the property at that point. I think the main takeaway here is that a trust does not have to go through probate. So there will be no need to submit a trust to a probate judge to review and approve and distribute. The only time a trust is submitted to the probate court is if there's a problem with the trust. Sometimes it's because people are upset about what is in the trust and they're going to contest it. Sometimes it's because there's unclear rules or unclear verbiage that needs to be worked out by a judge. So you're asking for instructions. And that's basically, those are the only two real reasons that a trust is ever submitted to a court, unless of course the trust was never funded or the trust was never signed, in which case it's an incomplete trust and probate might still be necessary. So for the majority of people, you have a revocable living trust. When you have an irrevocable trust, basically the same thing happens. When you've passed away, your trustee, who is not going to be you even during your lifetime, will basically just follow the rules that you have in the trust and do what it says to do after you've passed away, whether that's give specific money to people or property to people or hold it for a period of time. It can have all of the same kinds of rules. It's just more of an irrevocable trust is something that affects you during your lifetime more than a revocable living trust, because what you're doing with that kind of trust is either tax saving or asset protection, whereas a revocable living trust is more about probate avoidance and passing along items to people that you can still control. If you have any questions about what happens to your trust after you pass away, also known as trust administration, drop them below if this platform allows you to do that, or follow along on my social media and send me a direct message. I'm at Amanda Rocha Law, or you can go on my website and schedule a strategy session. I am at www.amandarochala.com. Thank you.